Hi, my name is Joe Dales, and I'm one of the founders of RH Accelerator. I'm really happy to be here today to talk about resources for your agriculture and food industry business. My whole career has been in the sector, so today I'm hoping to share a few thoughts on where there's some good resources that you'll be able to use to help grow your company. So I want to thank the Economic Development, London Economic Development Corporation for putting on this event today and for inviting me to present. So looking forward to sharing some thoughts. A bit of background: the agriculture and food sector is immense. It's a huge part of our Canadian economy, huge employer when you consider from inputs like the John Deere tractor to the farmer to all the industry that takes the commodities, the grain, the livestock, the processing that goes on, and then taking it right through to the consumer, either through grocery channel, through the food channel. There's a lot of jobs. There's a lot of sophistication there. It's also a huge driver of our exports. Canada is blessed with great farmland, and we produce more than we consume ourselves. So it's really great for our economy and continues to grow going forward. Our area is really a hotbed for food processing. We've got great new employers like Maple Leaf Foods building the huge poultry plant in the south of London. Large companies, large multinationals like Dr. Oetker, down to small new startups that are really thriving, like Nuts for Cheese and Booch and Live Fit Foods, who are at the Grove, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Surrounding London, we're really blessed. We have a great number of farms in the region, lots of employment in this sector, and in a 6-8 hour drive, you can be in Chicago, partway to New York City, huge customer base through Canada and the US. So geographically, with our border crossings, we're really well positioned. London itself is surrounded by some of the best farmland in the world. Our farmers are some of the best in the world as well, very sophisticated, using cutting edge technology, looking at supplying customers around the world. And one of the big blessings that we don't really sometimes take for granted is the Great Lakes. We always have water, there's always rain, and you get down to places like California or Arizona, water is one of their limiting factors for growth. So we're pretty lucky here. We also have a great food supply chain, right from the farmer through to the processor in the region, and everybody's blessed with lots of great produce at this time of year. So surrounding the area as well, we have lots of livestock production. The dairy industry, the cattle industry, the pork industry, poultry and eggs. Companies like Grey Ridge Eggs are local, and they're one of the leaders in Canada. So we're pretty lucky here. Going to talk a minute just to kind of cheerlead for our farmers. In Canada, we have probably 200,000 farms, census farms, so not a very big number for the population. In Ontario, I think we have 33,000 farms. And so pretty small number. And these farms are, the farm operators for the most part are very well educated. They're small business people in a tough industry, so they've become very entrepreneurial. They're very innovative. They're always looking for the greatest and newest technologies, like the big John Deere combine that's in the shot here. Well educated, a lot of university graduates in there and professionals. And they have access to the leading technologies of the world. They're pretty good at searching them out from the US, from Canada, and from Europe. And as I say, we're very, very blessed with some of the most productive farmland and great clients, great climate in the region. I want to talk in specific, it's pretty easy to talk about farmers in general, but I want to drill down. This is the Van Ray family, and they're just from north of London. Family operation. They are pork producers, they're crop producers, and very interesting innovators and entrepreneurs. They have begun a kind of farm to fork to the consumer operation, where they are processing their pork and they're selling it directly through their operation called the Whole Pig. And so Teresa Van Ray and Martin Van Ray and their family are some of the most innovative farmers. And there's an example of great entrepreneurs that are doing some really interesting things and looking for value add, looking to be entrepreneurial, looking to use e-commerce and direct to consumer marketing to grow their business. I also want to just point out, productivity in agriculture. I found this slide from The Economist, and it talks about, basic agriculture has, its productivity is 16x from approximately, 1950. So in those 70 years, there's been huge gains in productivity. And I was kind of thinking, does this make a lot of sense? But if I go back to my grandfather's farm, they had about 100 acres. And now my brother's farming operation, he's a partner in a large cash cropping operation north of London. They run roughly, 4,000 or 5,000 acres. So scale has certainly been one of the benefits. The reason they've been able to scale is because in the 50s, they were probably using horses or very small tractors. Now, you look at the equipment. If you drive by a Huron tractor outlet, you'll see, huge combines, huge tractors, large equipment, and all automated. Plus, we've had the benefit of huge research into seeds, huge research into crop protection products, just a lot of very sophistication in the farming operation. And as they've gotten larger, they've built out on-farm storage and so on. A couple of shots here are a farmer. This is Chuck Barisic down in the bottom right-hand corner. His farm is Haggerty Creek down by Bothwell, Ontario, so an hour or so to the southwest. Large farming operation, very sophisticated. And that big piece of equipment beside Chuck is the first DOT Raven OmniPower robot. So that big piece of equipment is a robot that, Chuck can go out and send it into a field on a mission, and it'll spread fertilizer without a driver. And so he's one of the first to be buying this innovation and putting it to work on his farm. The actual robot was developed in Saskatchewan by a great entrepreneur named Norbert Bourgeot. And Norbert developed this, built it out. I think 2 or 3 years ago, it was acquired by Raven Industries out of the US. And then this spring, Raven was then in turn acquired by Case IH. And so some of these great innovations that are coming from our sector in Canada are soon to be, leading the world, and great research is turning into great products, which, are being acquired by some of the big multinationals. So pretty interesting activity on the farm, and if lots of ways to improve the productivity and profitability of your operation. So a little bit about myself, just to before I get deep into the presentation. I started out from Bruce County, farming family, came to Western, did a science degree, and then started my career with big multinationals. So well trained by Pfizer, lived in London here, moved up to Guelph, worked for a couple more big multinationals and then a couple of small companies. And squeezed an MBA at Wilfrid Laurier, and then found I really enjoyed marketing and bringing innovation to to farmers. And in my professional career with American Cyanamid, I brought their biotech products to market in Canada, in the canola industry. And, you know, the canola industry is probably 2 or 3x what it was when I was involved with it 20 plus years ago. From there, I moved back to London, and I'd always liked where innovation and agriculture come together. And in those days, we saw this new emerging technology called the internet coming to town. We thought it would have great utility with farmers. So my partners and I started a couple of companies. Actually, my wife and I launched agcareers.com, which is now kind of the global leader, basically the Indeed for the agricultural industry for people looking for employees. And then a year or so after we started that, we started what became farms.com. And, you know, that company has really grown. We have offices in Canada, the US, Europe, and Asia, probably 150 staff around the world. So a few years ago, it was our 20th year in operation. I wanted to work with some early stage companies and make a few investments. So put a succession plan in place with my partners, and Dave and Brian and I started RH Accelerator, which we'll talk a little bit about later, which invests in early stage companies. I also have a fair bit of, you know, a lot of connections in the agriculture and food industry on the innovation side. I'm on the board of several businesses, and have been on the board of Western Fair. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Grove as we go. So pretty extensive network, a lot of experience, and I really am passionate about, you know, bringing innovation to the agriculture and food industry. I feel in some small way we're helping feed the world. So it's pretty easy to stay motivated and get moving in the morning. So if I can ever help anyone with that background, you know, reach out to me. You can find me on Twitter and LinkedIn, and you know, I'm more than happy to help. So for your business in London, there's a number of places that for me are go-to resources, and they've always been really helpful for me to whenever I have ideas or whenever I have projects that I'm working on or businesses we're investing in. So the first place I stop is you know, is Kapil and the team at London Economic Development. LEDC is a great set of resources. I encourage you to reach out to them. In the agriculture and food space, you know, we have Jack Adams, and he's been a terrific ally and resource for us. But the whole team there is fabulous, and Kapil and LEDC do a great job. I encourage you to reach out to them if you have opportunities or you need some help. They're very well connected. They're great networkers and facilitators, and more than happy to help you know, help you grow your business. Human resources is really a number one issue for most companies, and the London Training Center is another fabulous resource that I want to point out. David and the crew down there do a great job of training workers and helping you know, companies find, you know, staff. So if you get stuck for human resources, give the London Training Center a call, and they'll do a great job for you. Finally, I've had great success working with the Farm Credit Canada, FCC. They've got a great office here in London. Farm Credit Canada is really end-to-end agriculture and food. They do spend a lot of time with farmers, providing them support from the finance side, from services side. But in recent years, they've really expanded aggressively into the food and beverage and processing side of things. So I encourage you to reach out to Farm Credit Canada. You know, if you don't know them, there's some great people here in town and in the Ontario region. I know they're very keen to support people and see your businesses grow and survive and flourish going forward. A few other really important resources that you may or may not be aware of. OMAFRA, which is the Ontario Ministry of Agriculture and Food, They do have some offices and some staff in the region here, but really their large headquarters is in Number One Stone Road in Guelph. So it's pretty handy to get to. Great people, lots of resources there, lots of expertise. They work closely with the University of Guelph on research. And so I encourage people to spend time, lots of great programs as well. They like funding innovation. They like business development. So I encourage you to, get to know the OMAFRA people, and they've been a great support for us at RH Accelerator and Farms.com. The other group, they have a facility here in London, but they're mostly based out of Ottawa, is Agriculture and Food, Agri-Food Canada. So this is the federal government. A lot of research going on there, a lot of programs. Another great resource that you should make sure you know who they are. Then there's other kind of industry associations like the Ontario Federation of Agriculture. They have significant resources that if you do need to connect with farmers, and then the farmer commodity groups all kind of knit in underneath OFA. So it could be the Grain Farmers of Ontario or fruit and vegetable growers. There's a lot of great organizations. So if you need help connecting with some of those people, let me know, and we'll try to connect the dots there. And then on the food and beverage processing side, there's Food and Beverage Ontario. A lot of resources there that that can help you solve problems, access opportunities, just give you access to a greater network. In London, we're really blessed with some really great institutions, Western and Fanshawe. Western, they have a lot of great science and things up there, and there are some agricultural programs, but I find Fanshawe is very connected with agriculture and food. They've started in the last few years the agribusiness management program. They're growing that. They're bringing in lots of talent from across Canada and international students as well. And then they also have the Center for Research and Innovation with some great labs, some great researchers, also connected to research grants and so on. So, Dr. Colin Yates is at Fanshawe in the research group. I encourage you to reach out to them if you have problems, you want to solve them. This is a fabulous resource we have here in London. They also have, great programs. They're working with the Western Equipment Dealers Association, where they're training mechanics and technicians. So, huge resources there for skilled and unskilled labor, and we're always looking for talent. And we're really lucky we have Fanshawe and Western here in town. They're really the gold mines of the future in my mind. Now I'm going to shift gears a little bit. If you're looking for space and you want to locate a production facility, you need some office space, there's a new kind of initiative at the Western Fair District that I want to highlight a little bit. So Western Fair is about 150 plus year old, community-based agricultural society, and really great people. They run the horse track. They have great facility there for the sportsplex. They have great trade shows and so on, like the farm show, the poultry show. And this is the Progress Building. And in the Progress Building, they've developed an initiative called the Grove, which is a real agribusiness hub where we're trying to get in, innovative companies, up and going. And so we have resources there to, help you get started. Here's a shot of the space. So they're building out some food production. It's a great location. It's easy for employees to get down to. It's a great space to scale up your business. Because we're developing lots of businesses down there and RHA is there now, we're getting a clustering effect where people are sharing ideas, and Western Fair Association has resources to support. So we've got a great facility in the middle of London. They can help in some cases on the build outs, and I think in a few years you're going to see this being a really wonderful agri-food innovation hub with a lot of great companies, everything from software to, I think we have Live Fit Foods there, the Fritter Shop. There's some other food companies going in there as well, and then a number of Agri-Tech businesses. So it fits their agricultural mandate, and it's a wonderful resource here for the City of London. James Smith is the person that you want to connect with at Western Fair. Another great organization I work closely with is A&L Labs here in London. They're Canada's largest agriculture and food lab, and then over the last few years they've become the leading cannabis testing lab in the area as well. So wonderful people, great technology. I encourage you to reach out to Nevin and Greg Patterson to see if they can help your business grow. Great clients as well. Another area I want to just talk a little bit about is non-traditional financing. We have the banks in Canada. You might be able to get operating loans, but you may need venture capital, you may need private equity. There are a lot of agriculture and food is attracting a lot of revenue, a lot of capital right now. And so there's been a whole bunch of new groups popping up that want to invest into great companies. So here's just a smattering of some of the specialized venture capitalists, if you want to call them that, that can provide equity into your business and help you grow. One of the newest ones is the Agri-Tech Venture Capital Fund, which is based in Regina, but Libero Credit Union from London has invested and partnered in with that one. So, there's a lot of kind of non-traditional people moving into the space. They want to provide capital to help you grow your business. So if you want to talk about that further, I'm happy to make introductions. And they all have specializations. They all have different deal sizes. But the nice thing is there is more and more non-traditional financing options available to your business. I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we're trying to do at RH Accelerator. My partners, Dave and Brian, are up in the top corner there. We're three entrepreneurs. We've been in the business sector for quite a few years between the three of us. And we're trying to help those early stage startup companies. So you've got an idea, you've got products in the marketplace, you're starting to grow, and now you need to raise some money. You need to start hiring staff. You need to put some more processes in place. And so because we've done it a number of times, we've had some successful companies, that we've built out and had some exits in, we've done it before. And so we've basically become advisors, coaches, whatever you want to call it, mentors, by investing in those early stage companies, taking the small equity stake, and then hopefully 4, 5, 6, 7 years down the road, when the company matures, there'll be an opportunity for a liquidity event. So, we're trying to leverage up our networks, our experience, and our financial resources. So if people are interested to learn more, you can go to rhaccelerator.com or reach out to us individually. We've put together a pretty robust ecosystem. This is for the agri-food sector. We've started with working with places like Western, Fanshawe, University of Guelph, Vineland Research to find the companies, and then work with organizations like Western Fair, FCC, LEDC, the Grove, and some of the other accelerators across North America to help bring them along. And then we've built great relationships with a lot of the financial venture capitalists, private equity people, so that as they start growing, and it's much easier if there's a lot of relationships in this business. So it's easier to raise money if you have some people with experience and trust built up. So we're just trying to leverage up and help companies grow a little bit quicker than they would if they were trying to do it all by themselves. So far, we've invested in almost 20 companies. We've probably looked at 300-400 over the last couple of years. We hope to do probably 15 more investments in the next year or so. So if you're interested, you can come chat with us. We have a couple of areas that we're pretty good at. Agri-food is one of them for sure. Brian Foster, one of our partners, his enterprise software entrepreneur. He started a company called Innosoft, and he sold that a few years ago to Constellation Software in a great exit. So he's got lots of experience there, and his very solid in the recreation software side of things as well. And then David Bilson's very good at marketing and working with entrepreneurs. And so we've got a really nice team. We love working with early stage companies. These ones are all doing really well. We're really proud of the companies we've invested in, and some really terrific founders. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where they are in a few years. For today's group, there's a few that might be relevant to your companies. Factory Bucket is they provide apps for manufacturers to help streamline some of the processes. So encourage you to reach out to Factory Bucket. They're a great young company. We love working with David and the team there. ShiftLink is for organizations that have shift workers. They do really well with hospitals and large institutions, and it's an automated platform that helps people fill shifts if somebody gets sick. A lot of, instead of just phone calls and hoping people pick up the phone, they've developed some really interesting automated systems to help reduce overtime and spread out the workload to people. So encourage you to check out ShiftLink. Entry Software, they've got some really cool project management software and tools, help desk tools, asset management tools. I know they have some large manufacturers and some large industry players like railroads that are tracking their assets on their online tool. And then Mindsu is a fabulous event platform, training platform, anything that has, for events that you need an online. So it's almost like Zoom, but with a lot more features for bigger events. So meeting rooms, exhibit rooms, and so on. And so Mindsu is doing really well. They're a great company as well. From the human resources side, again, agcareers.com is one of the companies that I've had a long history with. If you need people in the agriculture and food sector, that's one. And then really in the food industry, processing, retail, so on, we have another big website called Careers in Food. And that group is one of the largest in North America. It's part of the farms.com family of companies. So those organizations, you can go on, check out their websites, and they might be able to help you attract the staff that you're really looking for. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about some of the fundraising that we've been doing. Recently, we've launched a new project called the 519 Growth Fund. We've got 3 general partners in it: Brian Foster, my partner in RHA, David Brebner up in the top right, and then Brian Cram, who has a great history in the agriculture and food and technology sector, and is one of our advisors at RH Accelerator as well. So they have taken the lead to raise some money for earlier stage, higher risk innovative companies. And so we're in the process of raising money there. And if people are interested, it's smaller amounts, probably, you know, $50,000 to $150,000 investment. But when you're getting started, getting that first lead investor, that first real shareholder that can help you, you know, go to the next level and attract the next round of financing is important. And so that's where the 519 Growth Fund comes in, and another resource that we have here that we're creating for companies in London to help them scale up. So if you want more information on that, 519growthfund.com. It's password protected, but you can check out rhaccelerator.com and you know, in the chat there or in the contact us there, you can ask for Brian and I, and we're happy to answer any questions on that one. So I guess in conclusion, if you have questions, ideas, things that you want to move forward and you're kind of stalled out, you know, certainly reach out to us at RH Accelerator. You know, you can find us on the internet. There's all our contact information. We're happy to try to help facilitate, connect the dots, whatever that is. And yeah, wish you all well. London, I think, is really well positioned for, you know, growth in the agriculture and food sector. And I think I encourage you guys to, you know, continue driving your businesses, be ambitious, you know, be innovative, try new things, and we're certainly here to help, you know, help if we can. So thank you very much, and have a great day.